Yeah, how's it going, guys? It's Richie Unicorn Cola here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are back, and today we got some more spell changes that have happened. So buckle up, relax, and yeah, let's get right into it. But first, for you console players, still nothing. Yeah, it's still nothing. It's still in the Xbox game preview, as I said previously. Like, feel like I just say this every video. It's in the membership testing, which is phase 3. This is the last phase of their testing. We have no idea how long it's going to last. There still is no official release date. I think the main thing is that hopefully we can get it maybe, late this year, sometime around 2025. And if not, then maybe early 2026. I don't know. They did announce it over a year ago. So, yep, still a work in progress. So, follow them on Discord and check out any other news regarding console. I have no idea. I'm on the same boat as y'all. Anyway, over here we got a limited time, a special deal for Wizard101 PC players. This is a 1-year membership that you can get for $59.95. So make sure to check that out. It's going to last all the way through September 29th. And over here, we got the Technomancer Kit Bundle, which I highly recommend checking it out because this bundle is sick, dude. From the gear, from the mount, from the pet, the emote, everything about it is just really cool. I know everybody expects like a castle, but this bundle is just really, really cool. I really do like this bundle. This was really cool. So make sure to check it out. And also, the mount is a 52% speed boost, which is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. So, like I said, make sure to check it out. You can check the website. And then over here, we got the spectacular little birthday, the 17th birthday. This birthday was alright. I didn't feel like, I don't know, I didn't feel like much was really happening. Maybe it's just burnout or what. But, the free membership lasted for a couple of days and all that stuff. Plenty of stuff in the Crown Shop to always buy. And we got the free codes as per usual. But I don't know. And the membership benefits, which are also really nice. But yeah, it just felt like any other birthday, which is pretty fine. So yeah, I had fun with it, but it's going to wrap up on the 30th. So make sure you check that out. Now over here we have some fall items that have returned in the Crown Shop. Apparently it was the wand that they had to take out of the Crown Shop because apparently you could buy it for gold. And you already know, I feel like this happened before previously. So make sure to check out the Crown Shop if you wanted some previous Fall Scroll of 14 items. And yeah, have fun with that. And then over here, Merle Amber's birthday bash is also going to start September 30th, or not start, but end. So make sure you are checking all of that out. Then we got Ravenwood Academy. No news for this. The only thing we know is that this is coming out in 2026 or around that time. So make sure that you are adding it to your wish list on Ravenwood, in Steam. And make sure you're following it so you can get notified about whenever it does decide to release. It's been a while. I think it's been like 2 years, I think. So pretty cool stuff. Make sure to check it all out. And then in the Ravenwood news, we actually have some new stuff in the Crown Shop. These are new school-themed portals, which we're actually going to check out in the Crown Shop right now. This is pretty interesting. I'm pretty sure these are new portals. As a matter of fact, let's check that out now because we haven't really gotten like a new housing item in a minute. So let's check that out. Oh, wow. Okay, wait a second. This might go hard. Hold up. Let's wait for it to load up. Oh, that is sick. Okay, that is actually sick. Oh my gosh, I could put that in the guild house. That is sick. That's a teleportal? Teleportal. That's a portal? Wow. That is really cool. Let's check out the myth one. They have one for each school. That is... Oh, okay, the myth one goes hard. But I think the zoom is messed up for that. That is sick. That is actually really cool. Alright, you house and decorators gotta get on this. Each one of the teleporters are 2,500 crowns. So, what? That is cool, dude. That is actually really cool. Yeah, make sure you guys check out the Crown Shop because these are insane. All right, let's talk about the spell changes. We don't care about no housing up. Okay, the fire one is tough. All right, let's talk about the spell changes. So, yesterday we talked about most of the spell reworks, which include some of the shadow transformations, and of course the more popular ones, Empower, Dark Pact, and Dark Surge. Well, believe it or not, Cam which one of the developers, they took that feedback, or at least from the whole community, and they actually reworked it again, or at least updated it. So yeah, we're gonna check that out right now, and let me just say, if what I'm reading is correct, then I'm starting to think that instead of a nerf, this might be an absolute massive buff. Like, this might actually be one of the craziest spells in the game, at least in my opinion, because I usually play a lot of challenge mode, but we'll see how the community feels like. Now, it's still going to sacrifice your health a little bit, but they took some feedback. So, Cam says, hello all. Some of you may have seen some spells teased on my streams recently, and since then, we've decided to make some changes based on the feedback. Here are the updated versions. There are many more teasers to come, and all feedback is welcome. Hashtag Wizard101. So, let's start with our big bad boy, Dark Surge. Oh yeah, we love a little Dark Surge here. So basically, it's pretty much the same thing. It will require a Shadow Pip in order to cast. And basically, it's going to give the player or target a chromatic pip of whatever school you are. So, for example, if I cast it on you and you're a fire wizard, it's going to give you a fire school pip. Now, school pips, as I said before, they work the same as a power pip. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not getting enough pips. That's basically a regular power pip. It's just a specific pip. And then it's also going to give you one power pip of a chromatic school of your magic weaving. So let's say you're magic weaving into storm. So now if I cast this on you, you will get a storm pip because you selected magic weaving into storm, right? Now, obviously, if you don't have a magic weaving school selected, it will just give you some random power pip. It will just give you a regular old power pip, nothing too fancy. But check this out. They nerfed the sacrifice of the health from 10% to 5%. So now if you cast this, you're only going to be taking 5% of health damage. Which, again, a lot of people have already said that they just don't overall like the whole sacrifice of health. I think this is fine. I really don't think it's that much of a big deal. I mean, I think once we get our hands on it, I think it should be fine. And if you're someone that's rocking with like 15,000 health, or you're someone that is used to spamming unicorn every single round, I really do think you'll be fine. I mean, I don't think it's like a huge concern. But check this out. What we talk about with Empower and Dark Pact, now that is when we get into the insane stuff. Now remember that these are still kind of a work in progress. These might change, especially depending on, you know, what players say. But I'm just going to say this. When you guys see this, it's going to blow your mind. This is insane. So Empower is now a 0 pip spell. It doesn't take a single pip whatsoever. It does not take 1 pip. It doesn't take 2 pips. It takes 0 pips. That is nuts. First, okay, let me just say this. I understand that a lot of people used it as a weakness breaker. I understand that. I get that. This is 0 pips. I don't think you guys understand how crazy that is. And it will take 5% of your health. So, same thing. It will take 5% of your health damage. Now, check this out. It will give you 3 pips. Now, if my eyes deceive me, this icon says that it is selected on a specific target. Okay, so now we get into the interesting part. Why does it show a selected target? You know, Empower has always been a self-use type of spell. Are you saying now, of course, this could just be a big mistake or a typo. I don't want to get into the specifics or theories. But could this spell be casted on a different player? So you would take the sacrifice health, which is 0 pips, right? It's not going to take any pips from you. And are you saying that you could give 3 pips to a specific player? Now, if that's the case, this is a huge, insane buff for support. This is nuts. Okay, first of all, this is nuts. Okay, now I could be wrong, and this just could be some really bad typo. And I'm sure it will be, you know, once we get into test realm and once we actually test it out, I'm sure we'll know a lot more about it. But if that is true, where you can cast Empower and give give those pips to one of your allies or teammates, that is insane. That's actually a game changer. Now, the only thing that would make this great is if they, at this point, I don't think any spell should be exclusive at this point. I think they should just let everybody learn as many spells as they want. I would love to add this to my main deck if it could be a learnable. I would put the training point on the spell. Absolutely, 100%. Or if they want to do a spell quest with it, I don't know. But, dude, this is nuts. This is actually insane. I'm just saying. And now for Dark Pact, same thing. 0 pips. So now you can cast Dark Pact, or at least what they call it, Dark Tribute. I'm probably still going to call it Dark Pact. For 0 pips. And like I said, this is going to take health damage of 5%. It's not going to break any weaknesses. It's not going to break any shield. It will take 5% of your health, right? And then you're going to get that plus 35% blade, which we know that universal blade, that's a buff, right? Previously, it used to be 25%. Now it's up by 10%, which is 35%. So that's a huge buff right there. And that's also a huge buff that doesn't take any of your pips. Now, I'll say this from my point of view, because I know a lot of people don't go raiding, and a lot of people especially don't do the Jade roll whenever I do raids, or whenever you do raids. Here's the thing. I love this for everything. Now, whenever I'm doing, let's take, for example, the most recent raid, the Ghastly raid. Okay, and then one of the strategies, I'm supposed to use TC and power. So, what I hate so much about the Ghastly raid, hate is a strong word, I'll just say dislike, is that it's really hard to get Arc Mastery pips. So, I'm basically resorted to using a level 5 Pinewood deck. Now, here's the thing. I only start the matches or the battles with only 2 power pips, and that's it. I only get 2 power pips, and I don't get that bonus white pip that everybody else gets because they're using their level 170 or 60 decks. Or, you know, I don't start off the battle with any pips. So, seeing this right now, right, I can cast Empower, and it's not going to take any of my gold pips. That is absolutely massive, in my opinion. Now, of course, a lot of people are going to be skeptical because it is going to take that health damage. Most of the time, I'm already at full HP, or I already have enough health to really tank in a few of the boss hits. But at least from my perspective, as someone that does play support players, this is an absolute buff. and especially if you can cast it on other players and give them that pips, that is awesome, dude. So, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm just going to say it. I personally consider it a huge buff. In my opinion. In my personal opinion. Now, let me see if I have the Empower card right now as a treasure card. I think I do. Yeah. So, this is what the OG Empower, at least, not really OG, but the one that we have currently. It will take 250 moon damage, and of course, that would take any of your weaknesses or your universal buffs or even any of your universal shields, and you'll gain those 3 pips, right? And this is for self-use only. But on this spell card, it has that select target, like a friendly player spell, like that little icon. So that's what makes me think that this is a really huge buff, because Death Wizards, you guys can really, this is honestly, like if you're a Death Wizard, this could honestly be seen as a really big buff for you guys, because theoretically, you can cast this on one of your attack players, and you can give them enough pips to do some crazy you can do some crazy combos with this. So I'm really excited to see how this changed not only PvE, but also some of the raid guides and like some of the mechanics for that. Because I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited. And I know some of the bosses, or at least from what I've seen, I know some bosses do Empower, so I am excited to see if that's going to take like 5% of their health or something like that. Overall, I'm just really excited. I think this is really fun, and I like what they're doing. But if you have any other questions, feel free to ask Cam and all the other game developers at KI. Hey, I'm just the messenger. This is what's posted. So personally for me, I'm excited, but we'll see what happens. And we can read some of the comments here. Some of the comments are pretty good. Someone says, please keep the item card and treasure card versions of Dark Tribute and Empower to 1 pip. Make the 0 pip ones only on the trained versions, basically making them death exclusive. And then someone says, I think Dart Packing and power changes are good for advanced combat, but they remove a lot of their use in standard PvE, but not letting you remove weaknesses. Any chance we could see a one Spellman Advance allowed upgrade while the base version still removes weaknesses? And then someone says, will a non-weebed wizard still only receive a power pip when using Dark Surge, like previously stated? I feel as though that lost value is something to be acknowledged. And then Cam responds with, yes, that's the plan. School and power pips are the same value if you're using them for your own school spells. It's only lost value if you would have used that school pip for another school. If you want to use other school spells, why would you opt out of weaving? So that's what Cam says. Dark Tribute needs at least one pip cost, I feel like. Quit changing spells, make new ones, and leave the old ones alone. Death is way overpowered, and they want to give him more. So yeah, a lot of great comments here. Someone says, these are nice. Bummer we can't break weaknesses anymore, but zero cost and power and Dark Tribute is crazy. Someone also says, good changes, but I think comparatively this leaves balance in the dust. Recent years in particular, Death has gotten lots of buffs to their buffs. Curse matches Hex, and now Dark Tribute / Empower got buffs. This is good. I just think balance needs compensation buffs. And then they also wrote some more comments down here that I wanted to talk about. Perhaps add some minor downside to Curse, so it's not a Death clone of Hex. I understand that would be hard to not mirror Feint, though. Maybe buff Balance Blade to 35%. I know that doesn't make sense according to universal valuations, but you guys seem okay fudging numbers on occasion. On second thought, yeah, with universal evaluation, Balance Blade should be 35%, akin to how Hex is 30%. Right up there with all the other traps, it makes sense. I am just rambling at this point, but I think it would be cool if Balance Blade buffed to 35 and add a new trainable spell for Balance Wizards only, Dragon Blade 25% Chromatic Blade. That is actually a really good idea. So yeah, a lot of people have some pretty good comments. Who knows? Who knows what other spells are going to be teased? Because personally for me, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. I can't wait for this update, man. I'm so excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I am curious to know your guys' thoughts on it as well. We've been seeing a lot of spell changes, dude. A lot of stuff is getting changed. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see how people feel about it. But personally, for me, I'm really excited. So until then, I will see you guys later, and yeah, peace out.